Hey, is it one of those days again that bring you down and make you feel completely powerless? Is it the day when you feel like giving up? Is it really one of those days again? What if I tell you a story? A story that will change your perspective. That will show you that life goes on and joyful days will come again. If you want that, then listen carefully. The story of the power of your actions. One day, when I was in my first year of school, I saw a child from my class walking home. His name was Michael. It seemed like he was carrying all his books with him. I thought to myself, why would someone bring all their books home on a Friday? They must be a real dummy. I had already made plans with my friends for the weekend, so I shrugged it off and continued on. As I walked further, I saw a group of kids running towards him. They bumped into him, knocked his books out of his arms, and pushed him so he fell into the dirt. His glasses flew through the air, and I watched as they landed about 3 meters away from him in the grass. He looked up, and I saw a terrible sadness in his eyes. My heart softened. I went over to him as he crawled on the ground searching for his glasses, and I saw tears in his eyes. When I handed him his glasses, I said, "Those guys are jerks." He looked up at me and said, "Thank you." A big smile appeared on his face. It was one of those smiles that showed genuine gratitude. I helped him pick up his books and asked him where he lived. It turned out he lived near me, so I asked him why I had never seen him before. He told me he used to go to a private school. I never would have hung out with a private school kid. We talked the entire way home and I carried his books. He was actually a really cool guy. I asked him if he wanted to play soccer with me and my friends on Saturday. He agreed. We spent the whole weekend together, and the more I got to know Michael, the more I liked him, and my friends felt the same way about him. Monday morning came, and Michael was there again with his huge stack of books. I stopped him and said, "Man, with all those books, you're going to get real muscles one day." He laughed and gave me some of the books. Over the next 4 years, Michael and I became really good friends. As we got older, we started thinking about college. Michael chose Vienna, and I chose Salzburg. I knew we would always be friends, and those miles between us would never be a problem. He wanted to become a doctor, and I had dreams of a soccer career. Michael was the class valedictorian. I teased him the whole time, calling him a dummy. He had to prepare a speech for graduation. I was so glad I wasn't the one who had to speak. On graduation day, I saw Michael. He looked amazing. He was one of those people who really found themselves during high school and developed their own style. He had more dates than I did, and all the girls liked him. Sometimes I was really jealous of him. Today was one of those days. I could tell he was very nervous about his speech. I slapped him on the backside and said, "Hey, big guy, you're going to be great." He looked at me with one of those looks, the truly grateful ones, and smiled. "Thank you," he said. As he began his speech, he cleared his throat and started. Graduation is a time to thank those who helped you make it through those tough years. Your parents, your teachers, your siblings, maybe a coach, but most importantly, your friends. I'm telling you, the best gift you can give someone is your friendship. Let me tell you a story. I looked at my friend in disbelief as he recounted the day we first met. He had planned to kill himself that weekend. He continued to say that he had cleaned out his locker at school so his mother wouldn't have to do it later and carried his stuff home. He looked at me and smiled. Thank goodness, I was saved. My friend saved me from that unspeakable act. I could feel the crowd holding their breath as this handsome, popular boy shared his weakest moment in life. I noticed his mother and father looking at me with smiles, the same grateful smile. I had never felt such a deep connection before. Never underestimate the power of your actions. With a small gesture, you can change someone's life, for better or for worse. Creation puts us all in each other's lives to impact one another in every way possible.